Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your fleet captain and host, Julian Brown. And just like this week's episode of Strange New Worlds, you might just hear some singing from the Strange New Pod crew. Indeed, you might. Alongside me, the best bridge crew, this side of Captain Pike's new Food Network cooking show. Thanks, Trek Corps, for that one. Our jack of all trades and all-around giver of fun facts, Vice Admiral Erik. I got it right this time. Then we have Lieutenant Commander Hawk, who I think might have a new alien race to try and do a decent impression of. Blasphemy?
Maybe. I have to watch the episode a couple more times. I did like them.
Blasphemy. And finally, I don't know if she's going to be able to contain herself because we've already talked about this episode a bunch. I wish I had a graphic that slowly put a bunch of just like Uhura heads on the Twitch stream. But it is Captain Girafe. Welcome back and welcome aboard. How we doing?
We're
Better.
all
This episode was terrible.
It was so bad. No. This episode was so fucking good that COVID couldn't keep me from coming and doing the show. So take that, I will say.
I'm
Erik
sure you're
actually
just here for Faith of the Heart.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason I'm here tonight. Oh no, I'm not joking. I have COVID. So I am here. This might be a bit of a shit show. We'll see how long I last. I think I'm okay. This week, who wants to read our this week? I'm gonna give you guys more.
It's always a shit show.
It's always.
I was muted when I said that. And it was funny. Damn it.
MC says don't joke about the episode being bad, which I agree.
Oh.
This is a fantastic fucking episode. So who wants to read the this week so I don't have to talk as much and cough my lungs out? Go ahead.
Okay. This week, it's Night of the Comet. Whoa. No, not really, but that's an awesome cheesy sci-fi horror film from the 80s.
It really is.
I didn't write that. I've not seen this movie, so let's pretend.
They used to show it on Sci-Fi Channel all the time.
Okay, I'll watch that. Is it bad? Like good bad?
It's good bad. It's good bad.
Oh, I'm going to love that then.
Yep.
But this episode is all about a comet and Enterprise trying to change its course. All before breakfast, mind you. And breakfast is the most important meal of the day, they say, you know?
It is.
That's why I don't get breakfast. What happens when Pike and crew find out this comet isn't just an icy piece of rock? How does Cadet Uhura does on her very first away mission? And which character almost becomes our first tick on this red shirt counter?
Almost, damn it.
We break it all down.
He can't do it there.
No, he can't do it there. He does it later to flying pancakes.
He's a blue shirt, though. He's not a red shirt.
But he's still. I'm counting deaths on away missions, man. Anybody that dies on an away mission is getting that red shirt counter button.
He was very close. He really smelled like a hot dog.
And my Riley writes, if Girafe's jaw was in pain last week and Julian has COVID now, Erik or Hawk are in store for something medically impossible.
I'm
next
pretty
week.
So that's
sure
what
I've
I
been
said this
suffering
morning.
For
Yeah,
weeks.
Eric's been suffering. He's got stuff going on too.
My right lung doesn't work. So
It's literally what I've said for this morning. I was like, every new episode of Strange New World, one of us is down. So
was it 3 weeks now?
3 weeks, I think. Yeah,
Shit.
3 weeks, I think. Yeah. Like we said at the top of the show, it's a shit show. And we were actually talking about shit stories after this. It's a shit show. This week.
Ew.
We're going to break that all down like Giraffe said. But first, Hawk, we're back
Like
to
a
you,
poo.
sir. We need to thank our amazing patron collective at the Ready Room level and above.
Indeed, we do. So thanks to Simon Stager, Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Mag, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Kang Wee, Haven, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Ian Davies, Amy Grace, Laura Lindemann, Kowalian Knights Prey,
Formerly reasonable.
where is Reasonable Stranger?
You have to do Qualian
Come
Night Spray
on.
now in the French accent.
Kowalian Night. I don't know what it is. Kowalian Night Spray?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kowalian Night Spray.
Now softer.
Not as fun.
Softer.
It's not
Not
as
as
fun.
fun.
Do softer.
Hey!
You're the
What
one
do you
with
think this is?
You're the one with the smut on your background, Giraffe.
Colin Davidson, Susie, Jesse Desmond, Alan Davis, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, MC Frodis, Maggie, Michael Graham, and our two newest collective members, Alex Miller and Emily Humph. I hope I pronounced that right.
Hamph.
Hamph.
Yep.
Hamph.
Hamph.
Hamph?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for your support. We couldn't do this without you.
They are all Julian's aliases. You know that.
They are, every single one of them. I'm giving the show $100 a month that I can't afford already.
Maybe you should do MC Frodis in the French accent.
MC Frodis.
Ooh.
There it is. This is a horny podcast.
It's a horny show, okay?
It's true.
Okay.
Oh
It's your background started it. It's not my fault.
Oh my God. Buick
It's the
Space
plot,
Wagon. I'm not
okay? I watch it
Julian.
for the plot, okay?
Yeah, Strange New World should be on Skinamax, right? Guys, speaking of our patrons, we've been promising this for a few weeks now, and the time is finally here.
Oh my
It's
God.
been delayed, but no longer. Eric, take it away. Here's our video of the team singing Fate
Race.
of the Heart.
Be kind, don't rewind.
Don't rewind. Can't hear you, dude. We can't
Fuck
hear
me.
you.
It's happening.
I was saying, do you guys want to load up your Twitch so you guys can watch it with them?
Yeah, I'm already on it.
Hold on, I'm not. Give me 1 second.
I'm on.
I'll do it. I'm gonna.
Sorry, everyone.
myself.
My muted.
Yeah, you should be sorry.
I was coughing. I didn't want to cough in front of people.
I think that's fair. That'll be edited out.
It's because of the coffee.
Cisco says, roll
Okay,
the
I'm
clip.
going. I'm muting.
You could communicate with everyone, but all right. Ready, Hawk? You good?
I'm all good.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
It's been a long time.
But my time is finally near.
It's beautiful, man.
I will see my dream come alive at last.
I will touch the sky.
And I'm not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna hold me down. Because I have it.
Cause I've got faith
I
of
watch
the
it.
heart.
How they will take me.
I've got faith to believe.
I can do anything.
I've got strength of the soul.
And no one's gonna bend or break me.
I can breathe
Yes.
any star.
Karaoke on the regular. I'm Filipino. Of course I do karaoke.
I've got faith.
I've got faith.
Faith of the heart.
This has a medium amount of heart.
Sorry, not sorry about that. That was awesome. We did it. We did it for you guys. You got to 25 patrons.
I
You
wanna-
all fucking right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
want-
go ahead. Go.
I want to log a complaint.
I gave you the audio such a long time ago, though.
No, it's not that. Kidding me? Yeah, I know. So first of all, I didn't sing the right lyrics because I didn't know what we were doing, and I was still like under pin maids and so on. Like you can hear, but
I
I
was
did
the
like an
same.
awesome like drum solo ba, 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 that was cut, and I think it was the best part of my video because I was really into it.
What that means is that you just
Kidding.
we need a video of you doing the drum thing.
I think we do.
Release
yeah.
the director cut. No,
No,
Yeah,
just the
I
drums.
will-
Just the drums.
Release
Yeah,
the giraffe.
I will-
cut.
It'll just be the
I will-
giraffe cut.
I will give that. I will give that, and I will send it on the Discord. I will do that.
I think there's a Wrath of Khan reference in here from Butch LePew. Eric, yours is the superior voice.
Amusing.
Oh, I love it.
I love Khan.
That's it. We're never doing that ever again.
Lies.
So-
No.
It'll happen live in Seattle.
No, we'll do it in Seattle again. Yeah. that'll happen.
I mean, we did sing it live in Chicago.
I think we sang it twice in Chicago.
Twice.
Both at
Twice.
bars. Both at bars.
And both
The
drunk.
whole song or just the intro version?
The
Whatever we
Enterprise
were
version.
remembering.
Yeah, the Enterprise.
I didn't remember half the lyrics, so
I didn't either, man. I didn't.
Alrighty, folks, let's get into it. It is our review of Strange New Worlds, episode 102. And arguably, possibly better than the pilot. The show just keeps getting better and better. Children of the Comet, let's do it. Giraffe, your thoughts on this week's episode?
thank God I'm the first one and not the last one this week.
It's an Uhura episode. You had to go first.
So I think arguably it's one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek ever. It's such a good episode. The first time I watched it, I was over the moon. We get more about Uhura in these 52 minutes.
52
Was it?
minutes.
52 minutes than in the last 56 years. And I think it's been quite unanimous on all the interwebs and internets I've been on today. What's happening? You okay? Yeah.
I'm gonna be muting myself a bunch to cough, so don't mind me.
And I'll be muting myself just to mute myself by accident.
It's true.
See in which like situation like okay. So, I was saying I think it was a very good episode of Star Trek. Like the recipe is absolutely impeccable. We are back to these serialized episodes where you have one plot, one thing, two twists, a character of the day, a character of the week, a planet of the week. Everything wraps up. You have some like awesome like shot of the Enterprise, and it's funny. It's like the perfect formula, and I hope they manage to do it over and over again without us getting bored. But we see again why Strange New Worlds was so important for the fan and why we waited so much, because it's exactly what we wanted, just to get a little bit of this background on the characters. So that was absolutely incredible. I think I've theorized on every single minute of that show so far, like every single look, every single side eye, every single like check ups and downs, everything. I've posed on everything. I've looked at everything.
I made you a Dead Eyes gif.
Yeah, I mean, we all know something is going on. We don't know what's going on, but we all know something is going on with all like these side eyes and something. So incredible. And even if we don't agree, it's so fun to see everybody being like, oh, he's into her, she's into her, she's into him. It's like, that's what Star Trek is about. The plot. This is it.
That plot?
I do have
that plot behind you?
That plot.
I mean, AO3 is very soon going to enter Wall Street if it and Strange New World like continue like that. Everybody's gonna write fan fictions forever on every single corner of that show. So
Well deserved. They are gorgeous.
Well deserved. I do have like 2 hang up with the show, and so far it's been 2 episodes on 2. So let's see how it goes. I have problem with how Pike is being written on the how to resolve the episodes every time, because it's serialized and they have only 50 minutes. It's a little bit of like, Deus ex machina every time. Oh, like they save the day and it's great, but for me it starts to sound a little bit paternalist. Like we have these planets who have problems, or problems that other people perceive as problems, and they show up and they fix the problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like these desert people on that planet, nobody knows that they wanted rain. Like they were living their life and doing their thing. Like how it's gonna.
But that wasn't because of the Enterprise. That was the Comet.
Yeah.
No, I know, but it's the same thing. It's an external influence that's come from other people and other thing outside of these people that didn't decide anything for themselves and end up, well, now I suppose you're gonna be good because you're gonna be able to have agriculture. I was like, there's a lot of culture that don't do agriculture and they're fine, like
maybe
like,
they just want to drink.
Live their life.
Yeah, they seemed pretty happy to have water.
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's every time an external force that come and brings good to the poor people of this planet who don't know better. I'm like, okay, 2-on-2, bring me another kind of plot next week. I want something else. Like meet the Romulans, meet somebody that is like, I don't want to. No, get out of here.
You want
It's a
spies
bit
and
of
bad
like-
guys.
I want spies and bad guys, but I do want to see aliens that have something to say about themselves and are not in desperate need of being saved. So, that's
Can
something that
I read something in the chat?
You absolutely can, because I know what you're doing.
MC Frodus wrote, "It was a desert planet. Those people would have end up dead from flash floods."
True.
Maybe.
Well,
I thought you were going to read Joaquin Slowly's that comment
did I
about the
miss that
water,
one?
the aliens from Signs, and it wiped them out.
Oh no, I missed that one.
so it's a bit like, I don't know. I hope to see something else. Let's not err where the 60s Star Trek has erred a lot, and TNG too, and let's try to develop new plots and different kind of resolution of plot. My second writing, and I know I'm bringing that up at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to start a shit show, but the writing of Nurse Chapel is getting on my nerve, and I do hope that that's going to change, because I hope they do something more with that character.
Wasn't she in
so
one
far,
scene?
She's been in one scene here and one scene there, and both were pretty brutal to me. So she's a nurse, right? She's a medical professional. And in the first one, she knocks out a guy. So she knocks out two people in the corridor riding, which was fun. But then she knocks out that guy that was perfectly calm and fine and, talking to Uhura, and let him like fall to the ground. Uhura actually is the one catching him up. And I was already like, that's not super cool,
But didn't you
And
think that
that's
she
it.
knew that Uhura would catch him because she was right there, right outside the turbo lift?
Hey, dude, we can like wrap this
I'm
as you
just
want.
saying.
Like, oh, but she knew what people were gonna do. I was like, come on. I knew she was saving Spock and all that, but I know that I noticed, and I was like, damn, that's kind of like, okay. And like that scene in the airlock really troubled me. Like, I watched it twice. The first time I was watching with you, Julian, and I reacted the same way. And I watched it again this morning, and I was like, there's something about the writing of Chapel that is not sitting well with me. And people in the collective have been saying the same thing. And I think that Star Trek has to be very careful on how they write medical professional, especially when it comes to pain and giving treatment to people. Like that scene where she hypospread Uhura in the head, not telling her it's gonna hurt, and then telling her, and when Uhura is like, wow, that hurt, and she's like, well, like that you don't run away or something like that. And I was like, holy shit.
I wonder.
First of all, that is not
wonder-
something you say.
I wonder
sorry?
because they said that she was on loan from a
It's like a university. It was
yeah, that I wonder if the nurse position, I don't know, it seemed like a weird like position to give her, because if she sounds like a doctor or like a technician or something like that, right? Like when they described her last week. That's what I'm just going with that.
Like, I don't know, like what the in-story thing is, but I take it as an external thing of like people writing show, putting them on TV, showing it to people. And we go back to the same question in Picard, like showing things that are mostly okay for most people, but are highly triggering for always the same part of the population.
Yep.
And to me, who has been, I don't know if you can see it, but they put an implant in my arm without any painkiller, without telling me what's gonna hurt, with any anesthesia. And when I got shot with it and was like, holy shit, I had the same reaction. And they were like, well, when you don't know it. And in Beyond, there's the same scene between Spock and Bones where he's like, 1, 2, and take it off. And he says, it's less painful when you're surprised, which is a better way to say that than be like, I have people run away.
Yeah, that's fair,
and to black women too.
Yeah.
There are things that they can do better again, and I hope somebody listen, because there are several people in the collective that had the same reaction. So it means
you're not.
No, that's fair.
Your views are absolutely valid, and like I'll say, like you can. I know there's also people on the other side who like Nurse Chapel. Like I like Nurse Chapel a lot, but I think we can like Nurse Chapel and maybe not have seen Girafe's point of view at the beginning, but we can listen to her and know that this is an issue for other people,
like
and
the
it's a very
character.
valid issue. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the character. They
Mhm.
need to write her in a way that is not triggering, especially when
Right.
you come to medicine in a pandemic and so
Yeah.
on. Like, they need to be mindful of how doctors and nurses are perceived and all the trauma that comes with seeing medical acts. Like, I remember, like, for example, like these like eye gore where like they take like E-shaped
Oh,
eye
yeah, I
out. Like,
hated
for me,
that.
it's
Oh,
totally it's totally the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
don't do this. And they need to write her more caring too, because so far she knocked out a guy that was kidnapped and the new cadet that is the first away mission, and she's terrified.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, there's some
Yep.
stuff that they can do better.
Yep.
Oh,
And
didn't
Sartuga
they
has a
also-
great point.
Mhm.
Sorry, Hawk, real quick. Liking something doesn't make it immune to criticism. So, yeah, Hawk,
Oh,
go
absolutely.
ahead.
Exactly. And didn't she also mention to them about their insides possibly melting with the wrong dosage?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of, but she was very caring to Lon, for example. But Lon is in a power position too.
Mhm.
So you know
Hmm.
what I kind of see like twice. I'm like, I hope that's
Yeah.
not gonna be 3 times.
Fair.
That's all.
No, fair. Anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
You're good?
I have many things to say. Yeah.
Hawk, you're up.
All right, so another great episode. Classic Trek makes great use of the crew, except for Sam Kirk. I don't know if it's just the mustache, but he's reminding me a lot more of Sam
love the
Rockwell's
mustache.
character from Galaxy Quest.
I have an image of that. Of them beside each other. I love it.
It's awesome. But next time Spock tells you there's a dangerous buildup of energy, don't touch the damn thing. Come
Yeah.
on. The subplot of this week was obviously had to do with predestination and that, and it's a topic that's probably going to be explored a lot more in the series, and that with Pike's foreknowledge of his accident. And everybody's coming to this with a different opinion of that. And, number one obviously believes the future is what you make it. And the question's always bothered me in that if you know when you're going to experience like the end of your life and that, why don't you be like a million miles away from it when the day comes up? And I didn't realize that not only this episode clarified that he's not just losing his life and that he's saving 5 other people he hasn't even met yet in doing so. So
Knows each of their names, yeah.
yeah, he knows each of their names. He knows what they are in that. I think somebody was asking if it's like, is he going to try and change their destinies so that they don't wind up on the ship?
I've been thinking that like they're gonna play around with that. I don't think listen, I think this show is going to stay true to canon. Pike's accident is going to happen, but I think that we have 10 years, right, that we can explore Pike struggling with this, and maybe he does try to change their lives a little bit so they don't maybe join Starfleet. I think no matter what ends up happening, they join Starfleet, and he has to save them.
Do you guys remember Quantum Leap, that TV show?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So there's an
Wow.
episode, a 2-episode arc where they do the JFK assassination, and he's sad at the end of this 2-episode arc because he doesn't save JFK, right? But he ends up saving Jackie, which I feel is what they're gonna end up doing with this show. Like, he might have seen like these 5 cadets, or he saved 5 cadets, but maybe he could have, maybe before, like maybe some other people were there and maybe they died as well. Like, these are the people that he ends up saving that,
Yeah.
that's
Or
the
maybe
twist or
in
something.
in his vision, he actually really dies, and he ends up being disabled. You know,
But
so
they show
maybe
him
this-
in the thing.
In the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
true.
discussed. Yeah, we talked.
Which
about it
always
last week.
like kind of like makes me weird that he says that he's dying. I'm like,
I mean,
being
yeah.
disabled is not being dead.
No,
Like,
it's not. But it's when I say it, it's like we were talking about this last week. It's the end of the life that he knows, and that
Yeah.
when he
Mhm.
comes to a point where he has no more agency in the world, and that, or none that he can see going
Mm.
forward.
Yeah.
So to continue,
Ha.
yeah, Uhura obviously is the standout in this episode, and I'm loving this kind of little theme they have, where basically like one crew, they focus on one crew member in that who becomes this, this little standout star in this particular episode, and she was awesome. Little bit of blasphemy from her in it, when they're asking her it's like, where do you see yourself in 10 years and that, and she's like, I don't know if I'm really Starfleet.
it's like a
Yeah.
cult. Like
It
they're all
is.
like, like, oh,
No,
chill,
well,
man.
except for Pike. Like Pike and Chapel both give her the okay, cool. Like, I like your honesty look, and he even says that. So
Yeah.
but like, I mean, like it's
Spock's the dick.
Obviously it's different in the future in that, with space exploration being like, going to Costco basically. But
Space Costco. Space
but
Go.
like, can you imagine like somebody in the here and now who is like, in like the finals for like a space flight to NASA? It's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm NASA material on that.
True. No, that's a great point.
Yeah. It was great. I love that she kind of like realized at the end. It's like, I'm pretty good at this. So what else? I mean, it's such a good episode. There's so much to talk about, but I didn't really do proper notes for this episode.
That's okay.
God
we
damn
have
it,
lots
Hawk.
to talk about. It's all good. We'll get
Julian
into
with the loving hand, me with the smack to Hawk.
it. I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's
your
not
work.
all the way true. Well, Hawk, if you're good, I'll move on to Eric unless you had a couple more things. You're good? Good? You're good?
I'm good.
You're good.
Okay.
Eric, stretch it out. Stretch it out.
All right.
Be excellent.
Be excellent to each other. Right?
Ah. See? Don't smack people.
I wouldn't smack Hawk. I love Hawk.
Lies.
What? I'm the only one that has given him a hug in real life here.
That's true and also very sad.
No, I know it's true. I meant sad.
Next year.
I know it's true. No, okay. So this episode was amazing. Like, not only did we get the classic Trek adventure, but there was also like amazing character moments spattered throughout the episode. I was talking to, I think, Hawk and a couple other people the other day about the show returning to this episodic format and how much I think, for me, at least as a fan personally, it's better for me. Like, I love knowing more and more about the crew, and I feel like I know more of this crew than I have of Discovery. I love Discovery and I love Picard, but I feel like I have more character moments with this cast.
Do you love Picard?
I love parts of Picard. Let me rephrase that. But like, yeah, but this show already, I feel like I know more of the crew than Disco. Like,
Yeah.
I know certain people, but not all one. Like, I want to know about Owo. That's what I really want to do. Show me more Owo is what I'm saying. So as Pike continues to ruminate about his fate, it's fitting that this episode's plot sort of revolves around the idea of destiny, predetermined fate, like Hawk and Girafe said. Plus, it's mixed inside this soft and flaky Close Encounters-esque phyllo pastry of a episode. I loved it. Una and Pike's chemistry is incredible. Just from what we've seen, there seems to be this deep-rooted friendship that I just want to know more about. I want to know how they met. I want to know every little tidbit because they just seem to vibe off each other, but in a non-romantic way. Like, they just seem like really good close friends, and
They
love
are each
that.
other's like ride or dies, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. Pike seems to have given into the fact that his fate is set. It's written, which we sort of believe is true, but we don't know what the end game is. And he recites the cadets' names over and over again, which is just heartbreaking. And there was a piece of me that died a little bit when he did that the first time. And you're just like, oh, he's thinking about these kids all the time, just all the time. And Una obviously doesn't believe that. Like Hawk said, she believes our fate is what we make it, like Sarah Connor says. But just like Una says at the end, just because you receive a message from the future, it doesn't mean you understand it. And I love that idea because we know pretty much where it's headed, but we don't know the details, and that's makes it exciting without it being boring.
There's so much like in that. I mean, like, the idea of prophecy in that, people who've kind of received a vision in that, supposedly, some people say from God or whatever in that, but you're only seeing something in pieces in that, and and it's up to you to interpret.
And when Pike actually looks up these cadets at the end and you see their ages and their faces, and that like they're 8, 9, 10 years old, and cadets, you probably assume they're early 20s, late teens. There's this ticking time bomb idea there, and it's both heartbreaking and just like beautiful at the same time. This episode is crazy good. But I would be remiss if I don't talk about Uhura, which this episode is obviously all about. A cadet who's unsure of her place in the universe, but we finally get to hear about her tragic past, and we get to see the moment where she sort of sees her place on the Enterprise and her future on the Enterprise as the communications and translator of Kirk's Enterprise. But who thought that she would gain that during an away mission, right? That's brilliant. As a cadet, she's rotating through and through. This time as the away mission prep, but her genius is what lands her on the actual team, which is what I love.
I do love near the end of the episode, though, that she's kind of like hovering over Ensign Christine's station at communications. She's like,
They're hailing you.
I can do this better.
That's my station. Yeah.
Hey, yo, do your job, woman. I just wanted her to be named Lisa because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so good. But nah.
What's
bread
more
for Giraffe.
Yeah, fair. What's more brilliant about this episode is that we finally get more backstory about Uhura, which is what we all wanted, and you get to see the start of her evolution from this cadet who's a little bit quirky and there's a hint of sadness, and we find out why because of that backstory that she brilliantly tells. And just, man, like, if you weren't sold on Celia Rose Gooding as Uhura before this, I don't know how you could not love her after just that one scene. Like, she was pitch perfect and brilliant. She had joined the Federation for the wrong reasons, obviously, out of sadness from her parents and her brother's death.
Escapism, right?
And her grandmother's, urging. Yeah. No, I don't know if I want to say urging, but
okay.
Yeah.
But
She sort of
that seems to be why a lot of them join Starfleet.
Yeah.
The aspect of running away from.
I mean, isn't that like
that's what Kirk did in 2009? Yeah, that's true. The
like,
army
it's
too.
just like,
Yeah.
But I think it's mad props. I wrote so many fucking notes for this episode. It's crazy. Mad props to both Celia and Nami for using their musical skills to such a masterful level. Like, they interweaved music and math and a little bit of theory. And it's just so goddamn good. If there wasn't a university student out there writing a paper about this episode, there really should be right now, because this is giving me flashbacks to like university. And I guess there's something a little bit apt or clandestine to the fact that Celia was cast as Uhura, because both her and Nichelle Nichols were dancers and singers before they came on the show. And now we get to see that in a plot device. Maybe dancing later, we don't know. But the fact that we started with the singing, which is what Celia Rose Gooding
as long
is,
as it's not naked with feathers, fair. I'm good.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm thinking that Renaissance episode coming up.
not that feather dance. I want the real feather dance.
Real feather dance. If you haven't seen Jagged Little Pill, the original, or listen to the original Broadway cast, it has Celia Rose Gooding in it, and she's awesome. What's even better is that, not even better, but I love that we ended up getting these two main interactions with Spock and Uhura. Like, there's a little bit of tension between them professionally at first, but afterwards, that latter speech, we see that mutual respect that started to grow during their away mission, and maybe even a little budding interest in each other. Spock gave a look. She gave a look after he walked away. But who wouldn't look at him walking away, right? I want to say that I'm like patiently waiting the first question on Uhura to say all this, and Erik didn't read the outline. Why?
No, he read the outline.
I did not
read the outline.
I did not read the outline.
See, I knew it.
But I also wrote this like a week ago.
That's true.
With added notes. But I need more of them together. I want more of them throughout the series, like moving forward. His Spock's speech to Uhura at the end was sort of this, and looking in her eyes during that moment is when you see her like, yeah, I do belong here, right? She has that feeling of knowing her I don't want to say that. That sounds wrong. But she knew where she belonged. Yeah. This is the family that she needs to grow into, which is beautiful.
Spock's like this speech is a bit self-serving to be
It
honest.
was, but I
Yeah.
liked it. It was still sort of neat. I understand you did not come to Starfleet the way many of us have, that you are not sure you wish to stay, but having observed your actions on the Comet, I'm certain you should, if you should choose to, Starfleet would be fortunate to have an officer like you. And that's true, right? She's fucking awesome, and we see that beginning here. Some of my favorite things other than Uhura and, Pike, Pike saying to Ortegas, remember how you used to brag that you'd be the best pilot to graduate the academy, and then the look that she gave him was
Like, what's your
so
point?
good.
Yeah.
And then she says, do the Ortega's evasive pattern, and his look of shock afterwards, like that play together. I love Ortegas and I love Pike. Oh my god.
I want an Ortega's Deathmare thing.
Yes,
I
A
want
flashback?
Discovery season 5. I want Deathmare to go Ortega's evasive maneuver and be like,
Oh my god, yes.
And I'd be like,
I love it.
I want them to be pals in the academy or something because they're the same age, no? They should be the same age.
About, right?
Yeah, I think
About
so.
like most probably, yeah. I want like some
They're both lieutenants,
Dude,
right?
like,
At that point.
rivalry, rivalry between like the two pilots and stuff.
Mhm.
Come on, Discovery, listen to the podcast, do it.
Do it. Even though Hawk didn't like the mustache, I love Sam Kirk's mustache. I love that Pike said something about it, and the look that Uhura gave them when they were talking about their bromance of mustaches. Hemmer is not in this series enough. He is my Jet Reno right now. I need more of him, and his not quirky, but his hilarious sarcasm is what I need right now. I need all of it. Also, I said this earlier about the music, but it's just, again, fucking brilliant. Man, 3 standout musical moments in this, other than the whole Close Encounters sequence, which, we'll talk about, I'm sure, are the Alexander Courage 4 notes before they teleport.
Yes.
Because it just gives you that feeling of going off into the unknown, and it gave me chills. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it, and the camera panning around them. Man, that was a beautifully done sequence. The music during Uhura's presentation at the end of the episode when they talk about predestination and, all the looks that Pike and Una are giving Uhura, but add the music on top of that, awesome. And then finally, the sequence when Pike is looking up the cadets at the end.
Yeah.
I've listened to that one the most, and it is heartbreaking and beautiful and melancholic all at the same time. I just loved it. There you go.
Nice. Wow.
Very good.
Love it. It's so good. I'm going to try and get through these as fast as possible. I have a lot of notes too. Logs. Love that every episode has a log, and a cadet log, right? Like giving logs to other characters. I love that. And I love that Pike has his at the end too. The Starfleet hazing and traditions. I thought, listen, hazing could be bad in the military, but it seems like Starfleet does it in a really cute, fun, loving way, and it's not awful.
The Enterprise bingo. Somebody
we need to create Enterprise
give me
bingo.
the Enterprise bingo.
Yeah.
I wonder if the writers actually wrote out a bingo card.
I would love it.
Most probably.
Probably.
I would
I'm
love
sure
it.
they did.
I love too when Ortega's like, "Hey, it's a small ship," and Uhura looks like, "Are you kidding?
Actually,
no,
it's
it's
not.
not a small ship." Like Giraffe said, Enterprise bingo. We need to make this. We need to make it and do it on the pod. That could be really fun. I love that Pike is in on the jokes, right? Like the doors open and he just like chuckles, right? He's like, "Oh, dress uniform, love it." I love everything about that.
How different a captain is he?
Right?
We grew up on Picard and that, it's
Yeah.
like everybody's in uniform.
Well,
He's
and
always
Kirk
great.
too, who's like more stern too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And
yeah.
here's Pike, and hosting
Having
dinner
fun.
parties
Yeah.
and inviting cadets. It's
Yep. I love the moment with Hemmer so much, talking about how he's not impaired, right? How that's like an assumption that people make. It's a great moment. I just love Bruce Horak. I love that moment after she goes to get the drink and talks to him in Dorian, and he's like, "I like her," and Spock's like, "Indeed."
I like that they make his character a little bit arrogant too.
Yeah. A lot of people are calling Horak the Odo of Strange New Worlds,
Yes.
which I could see.
Aren't all
I mean,
Andorians sort of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shran
Yeah.
is very Odo too.
Yeah.
I mean, that weird flex, like catching the carrot. I'm
That was
like,
awesome.
that's such a weird flex, man. I like it, but she's not impressed.
And like I said, like I love that Uhura talks to him in Andorian, like shocks him a little bit. Like, guess what? I know your language. I know your language. I know your language. I know all of your fucking languages.
And
so
what do you
fuck
know?
with me.
You know nothing. You know
Nothing.
Universal Translator. That's what I do all the
Nothing.
time. That's my word flex to you. I was like, Google Translate, what's up?
Yeah. Going what Hawk just said, like Pike is a really good captain, and he's an even better captain for like doing this captain shit while going through this horrible trauma and PTSD that is going to haunt him for the next decade. I think it's amazing. He's so good. And I wrote the question here, and we're going to get so much more into Uhura. I'm going to ask it anyway, though. Does Uhura's trauma maybe help Pike in a way, right? Like, there's other people aboard the ship that have trauma along with you. Like, you're not the only one. I know that your trauma is pretty fucking steep with what's going on, but, like, she lost everybody. And, you know, I think that has to have a little bit of, like, you know, it puts things into perspective a little bit. And I love this about Starfleet. Giraffe was talking about, like, Pike respects the honesty, which is like, maybe I'm not really Starfleet. And he's like, I can respect that. And I hope instead of saying like, well, hey, like have someone else take your place. And like, he goes, I really hope that you can find a place here. You know, like you can make a home at Starfleet. I really, really like that. I think Giraffe agrees with this. I actually found Spock to be a bit of a dick in the hallway. To
Oh
her,
my God,
right?
so much.
It's like, come on, man. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
His
He gets
feelings.
into every conversation. Like she's talking with Hammer and he's like blah blah blah. It's like, dude, nobody
Yeah,
talked to you.
exactly.
Shut up with your carrots over there. Like like he keeps like interjecting into like conversation. I was like, get a clue, nobody's talking to you. Go do your
Yeah.
thing.
I really like they posted beautiful promo images from the episode of like the Enterprise bridge and all the consoles, and it's just so fucking beautiful. Sori and Brandy in the ready room, NX-01 glass art, all these little Easter eggs. Is Pike flirting with Sam? I think so. I think they have a little bit of a bromance going on.
There's absolutely a bromance going on, and
Absolutely
it's
a
all
bromance.
about the mustache. I
Yep.
like it. I like it. I'm into it.
I almost shaved today just for the mustache.
I love that Sam might be giving Uhura like this bit of like a big brother vibe. I hope maybe we get to see more of them interact, because that could be a really interesting relationship. Even making her relationship with, you know, Kirk as her captain more deep later down the line. Tricorders are really cool. They do defib now. Dig it. I know Giraffe said that in one of the
True,
chats we
yeah.
were having.
I was like, oh man, the tricorders are doing like more and more stuff. I like it.
so
They can
Disco-
jumpstart your car. They can like find
Everything.
a star. They can like cure anything. Incredible.
I know Disco's done this too, but I like that that Disco in this series has taken TNG sound effects and like downgraded them where it's like recognizable, but it's got that like TOS feel now instead of like a TNG sound. Little tiny things like that with the sound design. I really love Spock in this episode, besides the fact that he's a dick to Uhura. He is channeling Nimoy so much in this episode.
His
It's
laugh
kinda
sounded
scary.
just like his laugh, which was weird.
Yeah, it was. I loved Spock in this episode.
And he can't sing. They need
Yeah.
to stop asking
Don't
him
make
to
the poor
sing.
man sing.
Come on. I love him to death, but this has to stop.
Much like we saw in Disco season 2, I really love that Pike relies on every single member of his crew and asks them all for the opinions. Like, that makes such a good captain and great command style. Singing, I mean, I won't do it justice. Eric's a singer and Giraffe is in a horror stand. It was just cool. The computer voice, when Pike asked computer, identify that sound. Good Lord, did that sound like Majel Barrett?
Yeah.
Oh
Did-
my God.
Did they use the phonetic thing that they
I don't
recorded
think
with her?
so. I think it just was very close. I think
Damn,
it was
did-
really
it's-
close.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was scary. The bridge sway, the sway when they're under attack, you know, like from classic TOS. Ortega's Gamma 1. That's all you need to hear. Seeing the little comet pieces bounce off the Enterprise shields was really cool. I don't understand what Spock was exactly doing in the shuttle with the comet.
How did
Oh.
he get in that shuttle? Where he's here and then bam, he's in the shuttle. I was like,
That's
okay,
like the
whatever, Star Trek.
My one complaint about this episode, it didn't make much sense to me. Alex Kapp, according to Joaquin Slowly, is the voiceover artist for the computer.
I kind of
shit.
got what they were doing on my second watch, what Spock was doing, and that basically using like the heat from the shields and that to basically go through the ice and that and basically shear it. Basically, and change. Once he like kind of, they called it sublimation of the comet, and that basically changed the form but not the essence.
But like, so it doesn't crash?
Well, basically, so the trajectory of the larger part changed in that. So the smaller piece of ice broke off and that and went, burned up in the atmosphere and that, while the comets, once it split, it altered its course.
Yeah.
Okay, so like they should explain this.
They
Maybe
should.
they cut it. But I was like, ha, why is he in the shuttle? Like, so then I was like rewatching, I was like, what happened? Did I miss something again? Most probably. And then I just went with the flow. I was like, okay, whatever.
You guys both said it. The Spock giving her that, Starfleet would really do well and value having someone like you. It's a great moment. And then the first time I watched this episode, Pike looking at those kids, holy shit. Like you said, Eric, you died a little bit. Like, holy shit. That's a moment, man. That is a moment in this episode. That was a lot. That's what I got for this one. Let's move in a little bit more detail. Eric already went on about it, which was great. I loved it. Easy to say, this week and this episode belongs pretty much entirely to Uhura. She's amazing, from the Captain Sable scene to beaming onto the comet, being her first away mission, just like being in awe, and then finally figuring out the mystery of the comet shields using singing. I mean, just how good is Sally Rose Gooding? Like, she's just, I can't, like, with how good she is.
Yeah, isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Don't you think?
That's the song she sings in Jagged Little Pill. So check it out.
I really like the fact that she's singing in the second episode, because she sang in the second episode of TOS with Charlie X, which I know it was not the second being filmed, it was second on TV.
Right.
And I before watching the episode, I was actually telling Julian, like, please tell me, just tell me, does she sing in the second episode? I just need to know, because she should be singing in the second episode, and she did. And when we were like, oh, they don't like respect canon, but they know their track. And that's such a little, beautiful little piece of thing that is,
I know that
happy.
we kind of shit on Akiva Goldsman every now and then, but he is a hardcore TOS stan.
I think it's apparent in this show.
With this, it is so obvious. So yeah.
The only thing I was a little disappointed is that she didn't sing "Would You Like to Swing on a Star."
God, no.
I do really appreciate that they are leaning onto the fact that she's African, which is really absolutely said in passing in TOS, because when she gets her mind blanked by Nomad in the Changelings, she just remember her native language, which is Swahili.
Yeah.
And you have like these like little moment with Chapel, which is the only scene in TOS where there's not a man on the scene, where Chapel is teaching her again English standard or whatever, and it's not often that a Black woman in a show is so identified as an African.
Yeah.
And for me is, I don't know, this is everything I ever wanted, right? And the fact that she sings a song from her native country, the fact that the song is identified by the computer and said that she talks about it, that's really great to have really an East African, a Kenyan on the show. Even, I mean, I know Celia Gooding is not Kenyan, but
no, but it still matters.
The character,
it still matters, yeah.
And the only thing I had, I was a bit disappointed, is like, can we have a Black woman with living parents? Like, why do they need like so much trauma? Like, for me, it was like all Michael Burnham again, and I'm like, Michael Burnham's trauma has been a huge plot line in the growth of that character, on how she gets the chair and all this. But we see it with Cisco too. We lose his wife, and there's always like this dead family member everywhere. And I'm just like, can I get a Black character that doesn't have half their family slaughtered? Like, it's like too much to ask. But I mean, it was brought in a very beautiful way. It makes sense for her her character and what she wants to do. But I know I was like, again, like please don't give me a flashback.
One of
where
these.
she's,
One of these.
like,
kidding me?
I mean, we still have Mariner with
I
her
was gonna
both
say
parents
Mariner
that she
has both
hates
parents alive. Yeah.
and wants to murder her mom. So I mean, like, it's okay, I guess. No, but it was true that I had a little bit like Michael Burnham flashback from when she sees her parent being slaughtered by the Klingon, and I was like, damn, that's gold, Star Trek. See, episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on Uhura?
Oh, yes. You want me to go for 2 hours? I can.
We could do an Uhura special. Good.
Yeah.
We'll move on. On the bridge, we've talked about this in depth too. We know that Pike is still dealing with knowing his fate, but we also get to see him have fun this week. He loves being captain of the Enterprise, really just committing to it finally and leaving what's going to happen to him in the back of his head for at least a moment right now. Even when the Enterprise is getting hit hard, right? Like he's in the moment, like he's having fun. He's messing around with Ortegas a little bit. What did we think about the Pike that we saw this week compared to the one who was hesitant to come back onto the Enterprise last week?
Like that they show that he really loves people, as a whole. He likes, he likes being around them, likes being around this crew. He likes having them, inviting them to his cabin for dinner, as we noted earlier. And that it was just something, we didn't see a lot with other captains. And that he has like an enormous faith in people, which is probably why he went to such extremes this week and that, trying to save, the people of that planet from the comet. And again, it's why he keeps repeating the names of those 5 kids over and over, and that because, like, as much as he's scared about the future and that and what's going to happen to him and that, it seems like he's using them as like his little faith of the heart and that to keep going and eventually have to face it. That's the biggest observation, is like he is not just a people person, he believes in people.
Yeah, agreed. Anything else on Pike? Last week we had more. This is more on Pike. We had Spock tell him that knowing his fate makes for really good leadership, right? It's like that Kobayashi Maru situation. This week, Una, who is more of his bestie, gives him kind of the opposite. Nothing is truly written. We see him look up to the kids, right? Or not look up to, but I'm sure he does look up to them a little bit. He knows the officers that they're gonna become, but he looks them up. And, these are the kids that he's going to eventually save. They're young. They're just kids, exploring. And do you guys think that he's going to take this and double down, knowing what he has to do? Or is it now thinking, I'm going to maybe, like, try and alter their past and see if they won't join Starfleet?
I hope he doesn't do that.
No, I
I
hope
agree.
too.
Yeah.
Like, I hope so too. To be honest, it would be so bad for the character. Like, imagine like plotting and be like,
It's not
you know
Pike.
what?
It's not Pike.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. And like, when does he have time? He's like in space, like doing thing. Though, didn't you find it a bit creepy that the computer has like picture of like random kids?
No,
Like,
it's
you can
Star
check
Trek.
up
No, yeah. I think
anybody's
everyone is
kid.
registered.
Everyone's in the Starfleet
That's
registry now.
super big problem. I was like,
Probably from their
"Damn."
Facebook profiles.
I think if anything,
Space Facebook.
I think if anything, he's gonna be more of a mentor to them. I think that would be the
Yeah.
path that he would take.
That's
Not-
kind of what I think, too.
not to change their fate, but just to maybe impart more wisdom and hope that they grow into even better officers. If than before.
I saw it too, like as him trying to get to know them to be sure that he will save them, kind of. That he won't back up, he won't back off, he won't like stop at the last moment. So I don't know. I see it more as a sign of bravery
Yes.
and accomplishment, and like I'm going to go through this, and it's going to be okay, kind of.
Yeah.
Because there's a meaning into it.
No, I completely agree. Finally, guys, Children of the Comet, despite being very much this episode is Uhura's episode, it really lets like our other characters shine too. I think, Eric, you were talking about how like you already know like so much about these characters, more than we ever learned in Disco. Ortegas gets some great moments in this episode. We get to know Hemmer a little bit. La'an is a feisty bee.
Can we speak about
right.
Lan for 1 second?
Oh my god.
How she's like, it's episode 2 and she's done with
She's
every
done.
single
She's
one
done
of
with
them.
everybody.
She just like throws a phaser at Spock, like, shoot the like
And I love that
throws a
Spock's
phaser,
just like, thanks, Lieutenant. Like he's down
and like
with it.
grab it. It's like, dude, like take a hint. Like
Yeah.
when they're like speaking, is she your girlfriend in the thing? And she's just like trying to save the dude who's literally like being cooked. And he's just like, look at them like, the hell? Like, what are you doing? I love her energy so much.
Do you
like,
know
so
who?
much.
Do you know who Lahan reminds me of? Kamina Drummer from The
Oh,
Expanse.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Kamina
One day I'll learn
Drummer.
who this character is. Guys, it hasn't been
Soon.
announced on the
Soon.
pod.
Soon.
Yeah.
I started The Expanse.
I've watched with
loving
him
it.
like
Isn't it
5
amazing?
episodes.
It's really
oh my
good.
god.
I think you meet Kamina Drummer the next episode. I'm
There
pretty
you
sure it's
go.
in the next episode.
You know what you
Very
can
I'm
do?
not sure what I'm thinking.
You can do watch parties for The Expanse on
I could.
Twitch.
Ain't no one got
I-
time for that.
Everyone has time for The Expanse.
I do watch parties. I was here because I was so afraid that you would give up in the middle. And I was like, I'm going to watch with
No,
you because
I'm
we're going to
loving
go
it.
through it.
I said to you watching the second episode, I don't quite understand why I never gave the show more of a chance after the first episode. Like, I really like
This
it
was
a
Hawk
lot.
too.
That was my experience. I watched half of one episode. And I was
It's
like,
an expense podcast now,
I
guys.
was like,
Yeah.
"Eh,"
High five.
you know.
Welcome
And then,
to the
like,
belt. Remember
Eric,
the can't.
Eric said push through, and I did, and it's like, okay.
It's so I kept when me and Hawk recorded the last episode of like us watching it. I kept that video because I love watching us freak out over certain moments.
I screenshot you guys going like, and I was like, oh, I know exactly where you are in the episode. Exactly.
Here's a fun
Yeah.
little tidbit, fun fact.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Fun fact.
What happened?
When I was picking baby names for our latest baby, Tala, when one of the boy names was Amos.
Yes. Oh my god.
Right?
But yeah, Kamina Drummer has this. She has the style too, like
Same
the
man.
hair,
Yeah.
you know, like the dark eyes and like the fuck off vibe.
She is very fuck off. I like it. She's
Yeah.
just right down to business.
Yeah.
And I was saying I want to see Lon's Ask Not, you know, when they
Yeah.
before she becomes an security officer and they like put her in a
Torture her.
room with Machineer captain. I'm pretty sure she just like shots him and sit in the console and wait.
Yep.
I
Yep.
see
Probably.
the-
Yep.
Probably. But just, I just want to ask, right? And I know we've pretty much all touched on this already, but how refreshing is it to have in a live action? Because, right, like Lower Decks has done it, Prodigy has done it now, but a live action ensemble Trek series on television again.
It's so good. It feels like home. If there's anything I can say about it, it feels like growing up. Like every time I turn on the show, it brings me back to being a kid. Like I have fun, which, you know, I love disco, but it's depressing at times.
It really is.
This has sad moments and like really heartfelt moments, but most of the time I'm just like, this is a grandiose adventure
Yeah.
that I would love to be on.
Yeah.
I don't
Don't
know
you
if I'd
miss the
ever want to be on the
mystery,
disco shit because that would be
I
sad.
kind of miss the what is going to happen next. Like
I don't. I
in
just look forward
Discovery-
to the next week's episode.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
me
in
too.
Discovery, it is like I can plot. I can like, oh, maybe they're gonna do that, or this is going to happen.
Yeah, but,
like,
like, it
Taka's
gets-
end game is this. You disappeared. What happened? What
I
did
want
you
to try to
do?
replicate it again. It won't work.
That was
I don't know.
epic.
That was awesome. You shook me so hard I just disappeared.
Yo, I do miss like having like imagine the next like the rest of the story, like trying to find like the hints of what Taka is gonna do, why he's doing this, who's that
Yeah.
dude, what that thing. Like here I'm just like, that was a fun episode, and now what am I gonna do?
but
But at
like
the same time, go ahead, Eric.
But at like, can you imagine this show having a Borg moment like in TNG? Like that's what I'm looking forward to, is getting totally surprised at the end of the season,
like
being
it
like,
to be
"Holy
continued."
fuck!" And then just yeah, oh my
Yeah,
god,
you decentralize a show away from like an overarching plot line and that, and you can do like any kind of an episode
hi,
that you
Pupper.
want.
Oh,
you
a
know?
dog.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
oh, so many kisses.
Julian disappears. There's a dog.
That's all
Eric
signs that
mutes
this is a great
himself.
pod.
I'm the only one
All the
having
time.
my shit together today, which is kind of
I know.
I don't know what's going on.
surprising.
It's the mirror universe. Yeah, it's so refreshing. I love it. And the other thing I want to say is like I like getting to guess and tell Giraffe she's right or wrong all the time with all the theories. But like, dude, we've had Disco season 3 with the fucking burn, and then we had Species 10C, which was a lot better, and then Picard season 2 being like up and down. I'm just like, I'm over it. Episodic. I'm happy. Give it to me. Let's get into one of our new segments. It is our crew member of the week. This is gonna be easy this week. We'll go reverse this time. Eric, your crew member of the week.
Hammer. No, Uhura, obviously.
Did you see my eyes?
Yes.
Did you see when I went like?
Although, Hammer, right?
I was gonna say if this wasn't an Uhura episode,
If it wasn't an Uhura episode,
I'd say Ortega's.
yeah,
It's Uhura.
Ortega's, yeah, for
it's
sure.
Uhura, easy. Hawk.
Chapel. Uhura. Not just don't kill me, Giraffe.
Giraffe's gonna stab Hawk in the eyes.
I want to issue my formal resignation from that podcast.
Oh, I have to make the overlay again.
Oh my god. Was it Uhura?
It was Uhura. Oh yeah, undoubtedly. Come on,
Giraffe, you're gonna say La'an, right?
Ortega's.
Okay.
Uhura, come on. I mean, come on. She sang. She did everything. She saved the day. She's a genius.
She sang.
Again.
Beautifully.
She gave the
More.
best Deadeye side eye ever.
That look she froze at Chapel in the airlock is like, if
So
looks
good.
could kill. Like
Over on Twitch, MC Furtis Uhura, honorable mention for La'an being done with everybody's shit.
Sure.
Haven crew member Hemmer. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that we get to see Hemmer in this episode, right? Jessica's here. Uhura absolutely for this episode, but Hemmer overall. Maggie Light, Uhura with the singing. Buick Space Wagon, best crew member Sam Stash.
Damn
it's a character
straight.
by itself.
It is.
is.
It absolutely is. Oh my god, amazing.
Pancakes get stuck in it. It's terrible.
All right, guys, another new segment. We almost got one this week, but it didn't happen. Who wants the red shirt counter?
You're my new chief. Go put on a red shirt.
It's 0.
I'd said 0.5 because I think
0.5.
Sam
He did
Sam
sort of
did
die.
leave. He did. He
died
died.
for a second.
He did sort
He
of.
died for a second, and then he came back, and I'm pretty sure he left some of himself there.
It was
On
part
the
of the
Comet.
mustache.
Giraffe, I want to ask you a question. What does Sam smell like?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
What? What?
It's a Revenge of the Sith meme, and it's really good.
I will
Like,
send it to you.
Okay, thank
Palpatine
you.
standing over Anakin, and Palpatine's like, "You
Oh.
okay? You smell like hot dog."
I have seen that.
Yeah.
And when Sam got like I was like, he smells like hot dog now.
Haven writes, if it's still 0 next week, we should get a Prodigy soundbite introducing 0. Yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
I like it. This is going to be a wild one this week. Holy shit. Spock's sideburn meter. What the ever-loving hell was going on with his sideburns this
Who
week?
did this? Somebody, I feel like, when you give a
Did this
kid
to
a
my
marker
boy.
and they're like right on the walls and they're like, it's like going like,
Dude,
like
it was
on
a
a
weird-ass
trip.
squiggle.
See, I didn't mind his sideburns as much as their random like pops of hair, like poofs of hair on him. This whole episode, I was like, why? Why is that happening? Oh, his
Oh,
hair.
my God.
they just like got Effenberg and like, how can we mess him up?
Yeah, agreed.
Like, just
Yeah.
like shave half his head, like draw a wheat string on the. Still doesn't work.
They have
Yum, yum,
brushes in
pod.
space,
I
right?
hate those sideburns. MC first. What is up with this shit? Can someone please take away Spock's scissors and razor? Oh my
his
god.
sister is not here to tell him to
No.
not
That's
cut his
fair.
bangs anymore.
Yeah,
That's
MC
why.
Frodo says Michael's going to come back from the future and smack some sense into him.
Damn right. Guys, let's rate this episode out of 10 golden comet eggs. We'll go Hawk, Eric, Giraffe.
Let's see. Do I go perfect 10 or just give
Yes.
it a 9? Okay. Yeah. I'm going to give this episode a 10 because it's second episode out of the gate and it is just kicking ass. I cannot wait to see what comes next. 10 out of 10.
10. I have no issues with this episode. It's fantastic. Pike continues to evolve. We get to see more of Uhura than we have the past 60 years.
55 years.
56.
Yeah. Sam's mustache. I mean, how could I not? I mean, I would give a little bit lower because of Hammer, but whatever.
Whatever.
He just gets fries like 5 minutes into the episode, and do you imagine if every episode Sam just gets fucked
Gets
like
fried.
5 minutes in, and he's like get like shot, an arrow, some weird pollen.
My knee.
You know in the apple when like Spock gets like the flower
Yeah.
darts.
Oh
Yeah.
my
He's like,
god.
I want
Or
this.
a really popular one is always a parasitic infection.
Yep.
Yes.
There you go.
And next week he comes back and he doesn't have any sequel. He doesn't have any problem.
He
and
gets
he
stuck
like he
in the
doesn't
transporter
remember.
buffer.
And he's just like, "Hey, what's up?" And you're like, "That guy is like." They just have clones of him that
This
they
is-
like pop everywhere.
This is why he ends up on that planet later. Pike's just like, you're bad luck, dude. You gotta.
Yeah, get off my shit, man. Get your family and get off my shit. Giraffe, your rating.
10 out of 10. I have problem that have nothing to do with nor the actors, nor the scenography, nor the edition of that episode. So, and it's still the first season of Star Trek,
Mhm.
Yeah,
which
firing on all
I mean,
cylinders.
Mhm.
it's very good.
Yep.
Yeah.
On Twitch, MC Frodis 10. I'm reading all the zeros out of 10. Haven gives
A million.
I'm seeing how long I can go without coughing. Haven gives it a 7 with the funny 7 from the Brad Pitt movie. Jesco, we
in
need a
the
bowling
box?
barber on board. It's true.
What's in the
fucking
box?
Jesco, I give it 8 golden eggs. Maggie Light, 9 out of 10. Joaquin Slowly, 9 out of 10. Pre-pillar pancake near-death experience for Sam Kirk and his stash. And finally, Shatterhand, 9.5 out of 10, which is also my score. This episode was fucking amazing. I am taking that 0.5 off because of the Spock shuttle business. I would have just liked a tiny bit of explanation. That's all.
I
That's
was
worth
going
a
to go
0.5.
9.5, but then I was like, remember the first season of TNG? Remember the first season of Discovery?
God.
Remember the
It's
first
true.
season
It's true.
of
Hey,
Enterprise?
9.5 might as well
The
be a
first
perfect
season
score.
of Voyager? And I'm like,
I feel like
this is a
Voyager
very good
season
first
1's
season.
Not horrible. I don't know.
it's not as good as
No.
this one.
No.
I think
No,
so far,
God,
the
no.
only first season that has been like flawless is Lower Decks and Prodigy.
Yeah, agreed.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
And
Strange New
Prodigy
Worlds.
still
So that
has
was,
a
I was
second
like,
half to.
Yeah, Prodigy still has a second half. It's true.
I'm going to give 10 out of 10 just because I hope.
No,
I
that's
hope.
fair.
I have hopes.
Let's get into the subspace to pole and mailbag.
I didn't say first
Oh
season
God,
of
that's the
DS9.
wrong button. Let me do that again. That was Ian.
I didn't say first season of DS9. Stop fighting
No
me
one
in
said
Twitch.
it. No one said it.
Fair.
All right, let me do that again. Let's get into the subspace to pole and mailbag.
Shipwide, Cadet Uhura.
Aye, sir.
Who's reading the to pole this week?
Hawk's rubbing his
Hawk's,
hands.
Hawk's ready for it.
Alrighty, so I feel like I should do this in reverse order from.
Yeah, go ahead. Do it in reverse order.
All right, so in reverse order from worst rating to best rating, 3% said Shields failing.
Fuck you.
Who are you?
Give me names.
There are
Yeah.
I
people
will
who
find
never
you
watched
and I
the
will break your
episode.
knees.
Yeah, exactly.
I will airlock you.
0% said not another pep talk. 5% of you said right time for genius.
Mhm.
And a whopping 92% said I love this job.
Is
Yeah.
that the best score ever we got on a poll?
No, I think last
Last
week's
week was,
was actually
Pretty
yeah.
crazy high
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy high. Let's get into the mailbag. We'll go in order from the top of the show. We'll go Giraffe, Hawk, and Eric. Or no, Giraffe,
Yay.
Eric. I'm
No,
tired.
it's Giraffe, Hawk, and Eric. Yeah.
Giraffe, Hawk, and Eric.
So it's going to be Giraffe reading Rainbow because that one is long.
Yeah, let me just say real quick to preface this one. So we actually got one of our mailbags this week in our email from one of like our very first listeners, and that's really
Old school.
awesome. And they emailed us, so I love this. Go ahead.
Cameron Fraser?
Yeah,
Fraser?
sure.
Cameron Fraser wrote via email, "Hi everyone, long time no speak. It's been nearly 2 years since I first wrote to you. After listening to your maiden episodes while trudging across English fields at the height of lockdown, can I just say it's great that you guys have gone from strength to strength, and every new upload brings me joy. But I must say, I miss Britney Spawn. We do
We all do.
too.
No, you
Yep.
do.
With that said, it's finally out and it's amazing. I loved every single part of the first episode. I cannot quite believe that after all these years, we've gotten a Captain Pike show. So it's brilliant. Is that a question?
He's going like, and it's brilliant, like kind of like a question, not
Oh,
question. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Sorry, Cameron. I mean, you've been listening to the show forever. You know I can't read. I won't go into everything. I'm sure you'll cover it much better than I can. But I will say my geek heart positively glowed when I saw that they had canonized the Saladin Hermes class one nassau ships from many games and beta canon, and that they named it the USS Archer was the cherry on the cake. Question for you guys: any types of ships or particular ships you'd like to see? I think we might see the USS Farragut by the end of the year. I'd say season 2. Kirk's command.
No comment. But if you go on IMDb, there's a certain casting about a certain ship, and that's all I'll say.
What?
Uh-oh.
Spoilers.
It's on IMDb. I have no control over that.
Sorry, another long email from me. Keep up the good work. Live long and prosper. Cameron, captain of the SS Madame de Pompadour.
I love it. I'm gonna answer the question. I want to see a Miranda class, like an old school Miranda class, maybe like a little like homage to Wrath of Khan. That could be cool. And I want to see some fucking Klingons. Disco is just forgetting all about them. Give me some D7s, man. Give them to
I
me.
want to see Vulcan ships.
Yeah.
When
Like
did
ring.
the Excelsior class start? Was it much later?
It was like post motion picture.
Was it
They were
post-motion?
building it for
Damn it.
Transwarp. Yeah.
Transwarp. Oh yes.
Transwarp, that thing. Hawk, go ahead and take Kara's.
All right. Kara wrote about last week.
Yeah, it was her mailbag is about last week's episode.
Oh, okay, cool. My eyes were bruised the next day from weeping through my first watch. I just
I
felt
feel this.
overwhelmingly fortunate to be alive to see all this new Trek. I love the story, the characters, pacing, the message, the cinematography. I made handouts at midnight and showed the episode to my grade 12 classes today. They loved Uhura and Spock especially. Ethan Peck seems much less robotic and more playful as Spock, and I'm here for it. It was the perfect balance of an established team with Pike, Una, and Spock, and getting to know a new crew.
Nice.
That's a spicy episode to show in class, Kara.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right.
Go ahead, Eric.
Shatterhand wrote, another stunning and engaging episode. Uhura got more backstory and narrative focus in one episode than she received in all of TOS and the 6 TOS films, and I am here for it. Celia Rose Gooding absolutely stole the show. I thought Uhura's self-doubt about her usefulness and her future with Starfleet was handled very well. It seemed very indicative of how a cadet might react in a critical situation. I love the opening scene. It really drove home how relatable and likable the characters feel already. Their gathering felt very relaxed and comfortable. The main storyline with the Comet and how Pike and his crew dealt with it was classic Star Trek to me, and the revelation at the end about the Comet and the Enterprise's crew's intervention with it was a perfect tie-in to Pike's personal story arc. Other random points, great intro to Hemmer, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. Damn straight. Ethan Peck channels the wisdom of Nimoy Spock so well it's almost spooky. All in all, another excellent episode. The series is freaking amazing.
Amazing.
We didn't speak about how the Comet is like giving me the chase so much.
The chase.
In
chase.
TNG, you know, when like
Yes.
they learn that they all come from one race of alien that seeds the planet, and that's why everybody's humanoid, because they all come from the same people.
Yep,
and
that's right.
That
Yeah,
came like
because
seed the
Picard's
planet.
old like teacher archaeologist is
Yeah.
hunting a tent. Yeah, that's great.
You also
Yeah.
had that theory about you talked about that theory about how the first amino acids were actually brought by a comet
Yeah,
to Earth.
absolutely. I mean, it's a theory that we actually life come from comets, just like carrying it over and over again.
Nice.
MC wrote, is it too early to say this is one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek? No, it's not too early.
Nope.
This is, I think, Giraffe's one of her favorite episodes. This is a great episode of Star Trek. So much of TOS Uhura's portrayal was butchered due to the racism and sexism of the 1960s not allowing her to do anything. And it's about time we were able to really appreciate that wonderful character. I love seeing the beginning of her friendship with Spock and how it really served as a microcosm of her comfort with Starfleet, which is fitting, seeing as they will serve together longer than anyone else, possibly in all of Star Trek. Actually,
That's
a great
true.
point.
Yeah.
Indeed. I'd like Sam Kirk knocked out on every mission, so he has to be turned over and his gloriously mustache face is shown unconscious. I also need every episode for Pike to cook something. Yes. We've done breakfast, dinner. Maybe he should pack a snack for the away team next. I like snacks. Stranger Worlds knocked another one right out of the park. Agreed.
Okay. Telex wrote, after all these years, Uhura is getting a chance to show her competence and ingenuity in the Prime Universe. Celia Rose Gooding is killing it, and her take on the character is both familiar and refreshing. The interactions between Uhura and Spock presented a logical starting point for their eventual friendship and their mutual appreciation of music. Loved the design of the shepherds and their ship. It was a pleasant surprise to learn that practical effects were used.
Yeah,
At
so
first glance-
real quick, it was what was really cool about that, it was a person, it was an actual actor, and then on top of the actor was an animatronic head controlled by, like a radio controlled thing, like for an RC car. It was really cool. Yep. Sorry, keep going.
At first glance, the ship reminded me of the Narada. True. Overall, another great episode, and I can hardly wait for the next one. P.S. More hammer, please. It's hammer time. Hey, see, I'm trying to do puns. I'm not like
I liked
good
it.
at Britney,
That's
but
good.
I'm
I
like,
don't know, yeah.
Eric is just burying me over there. Buried
Dead and
alive.
Almost worse than Sam Kirk.
Haven next. Haven wrote Cadet's Log. Like, is there any other way to start an episode from? We have seen personal logs from ensigns who create fake captain's logs aboard the Cerritos. We have seen an untold number of captain's logs or station logs, but never before a log from somebody who is so green behind the ears. We could call them a Vulcan, or at least in love with one. Overall, this episode to me wasn't as good as the premiere last week, but after multiple rewatches of the premiere, I have found more and more I loved about the episode. I hope that continues with this episode. That dress uniform is amazing. I'm actually glad that Uhura wore it.
I like
I'm the
it.
only one who doesn't like it.
No.
Shh.
Sorry.
I'm voting you out of the island.
I'm actually glad that Uhura wore it because I felt like it made her more secure in herself as the youngest person on board. She had something to hold on to while she was nervous. After a single rewatch, crewman of the week would be Hemmer. This will probably change by the time the podcast airs, but this is my initial feelings.
Yeah.
Eric, I was hoping you'd get this one.
All right, Buick. Mailbag 102. I would like whoever reads my mailbag to sing the notes from Close Encounter of the Third Kind. Here they Oh, I already know it. Bum 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 bum. Wait. Do 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 do. There it is.
Yep. That's it. That was the mailbag.
Did he put it? Did he put the actual thing?
He
in
did.
there? Oh, that's
Yep,
funny.
He did. Yep.
Boop boop boop.
Is it back to me? Yum Yum Pod wrote, overall a solid episode with a decent little story to guide us along. The real strength that we're taking away from Stranger World is the simple but effective character work, because after 2 episodes we can firmly tell you who a bunch of these people are and what we like about them, which is good to have. Agreed. Picard really let us down when it came to the characters, and so having this come along after that series has been great.
Yes.
It shows that current creative team in charge of Trek can actually deliver to us in a short amount of time a likable and well-defined crew of people.
Well-defined crew is the key thing there.
Yeah, key thing there. That's a great point, Yum Yum Pod.
Jesco wrote, this was a wonderful episode. Really enjoyed watching Uhura find her way navigating the crew and her first mission. Hammer was a delight in the bits we got of him, and I need more. Overall, the Comet plot was rather predictable, but still enjoyable. And the alien designs for both the Shepherds and Persephone 3. It was furry. Yeah, Persephone,
Yep.
Persephone free. Yeah, residents were gorgeous. Spock singing was also a highlight.
Highlight?
Okay, you heard me sing. You know I can't sing like force. Even like if my life depended on this, I would be dead. Okay, but like I feel that even Pig really did the best he could. He's
The best
not a
he could.
singer. And they put him to sing with Celia Gooding, who's literally an amazing singer. I mean, I
Kind of a
respect.
dick move on the writer's part.
I respect that he gave his best, but man, that was
It
But
was
it-
fun. Jessica wrote it was fun, and it was really
it was
fun.
fun.
Would it
but
have
like
been
I was
better if
like,
he started singing about hobbits?
Oh, because he did the
why? Why did you
the
do
music
this?
video.
Why did you do
Anyway,
this?
yep.
Why?
Oh my God, Hawk, take us home, please.
All right. Maggie Light wrote, the idea of communication in the form of music was wonderful. All of the music was awe-inspiring. Hoping to hear more vocal music in future episodes.
Damn it, Paramount Plus, you fucking cowards! Give us a musical episode.
Do it.
Damn right.
Do it. Jessica
Do it.
has an
No.
awesome question in
Yeah.
the chat. They're curious if they bring Klingons, Ferengi, etc. back. Will they be the Discovery design like Hammer is, or more similar to the TNG DS9 designs?
They're gonna do new designs.
I think they're probably gonna do
I
like
hope-
Klingon designs from Disco.
I hope
at
it's a
least.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't bring Ferengi back because they're not supposed to show up
Yeah,
technically
that's
till TNG, even though Enterprise ruined that.
Yeah. They won't show the Romulans either because they
Well,
appear
yeah.
for first. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they
No,
hear
no.
them, but they won't
Yeah.
see them.
Just
That's
give me
for
some
sure.
Klingons. Give me some Klingons. That's all I ask. And Andorians, right? Like, give me the USS or the ASS.
Do you think
Shran or
Shran is
something.
still alive?
I was wondering that earlier today.
I want
like-
to see Shran, and I want to see Archer.
like
Yeah.
old,
Would
like they did,
Archer be
like they did.
Archer would be
It'd
alive.
be like
He'd be really old, but
145.
he'd be alive.
Yeah,
That's fair. I'm fine with that.
146, something like this. I mean, they did it with McCoy in Encounter at Farpoint,
Yeah,
so
Exactly. Yep.
No,
why
why not?
not?
What another great episode of Star Trek. Holy shit. This show is why we're here, folks. This has been absolutely amazing. It's so fun getting to talk about this now 2 weeks in. Can't wait to talk about next week's episode and all the future episodes. I think directly following the pod, we've been doing the watch along directly following. So if anybody is down, we'll say 11:15 p.m. Eastern time, the start of the rewatch there. But that's going to do it for this week's show. I do want to say very quickly on a personal note, thank you for all the well wishes. I'm, knock on wood, feeling mostly fine. So you guys rock. Love you all. That's going to do it for Hawk, for Eric, for Giraffe. I am Julian. I say live long and prosper, Majram, and good night.
On Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.